Good afternoon, everyone, especially to our beautiful Professor Ma'am Violeta Sabio. Ma'am, good afternoon po. This is the report of Chapter 10, and this is the Rizal and Philippine National and Kabayanihan. This is the member of our group, Princess Love Mania, Marie Chris Mahigab, Fernan Mosadas, Lorenzo Romer, Marcangelo Orenya, Mark Kevin Panaligan, and me, Rina Lapo, and lastly, Julina Palacio. There is some information in our report that is not included in the module. Bayani, as you can see in the image, these are the some heroes in our country: Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, Antonio Luna, and Lapu-Lapu yung nasa taas, Emilio Aguinaldo, Melchora Aquino, Juan Luna, and yung katabi ni Jose Rizal is Apolinario Mabini. Bayani at kabayanihan. The word bayani or hero in Filipino is someone who saves somebody's lives. However, this word carry a deeper context wherein only those people who are willing to suffer and sacrifice themselves for the good of the country and worthy enough to be called as such. Being called a hero requires a greater act of bravery. So, kailangan daw ng katapangan para matawag na hero. Dr. Rizal was a man of intellectual power and artistic talent whom Filipinos honor as our national hero. Rizal is not only admired for possessing intellectual brilliance but also for taking a stand and resisting the Spaniard colonial government. While his death sparked a revolution to overview that tyranny, Rizal will always be remembered for his compassion toward the Filipino and in our country. Another remarkable hero that we all know is Andres Bonifacio. As you can see on the right side image, the katastasang kagalang-galangan ng mga anak ng bayan or KKK. He play a hug role in the revolt of Filipino against the Spaniards. So, siya yung may malaking ginampanan sa paglaban sa mga Espanyol. In the center of the revolution was its founder, Supremo Andres Bonifacio. Furthermore, according to the Vallejo Jr., Filipinos also remember General Luna as a brilliant, brave soldier and tactician of the second phase of the revolution and the provincial hothead, but never as the excellent scientist. He has no epitaph, but perhaps his word before having exiled in Europe for Manila are appropriate. I will fight and offer my life, my small knowledge and science for liberation of the motherland. So, yung tinutukoy dito ni Antonio Luna ay yung Pilipinas. And meaning of nationalism according to Can 1955, nationalism is first foremost a state of mind, an act of consciousness. Moreover, is a group of consciousness that strive toward achieving homogeneity within the group conformity and like-mindedness, which lead to the two and facilitate common goals. And lastly, the meaning of nationalism according to An, it is the desire of the members of a state govern themselves and to protect their interests even at the expense of outsiders.
According in Encyclopedia, nationalism has been an explosively powerful political force. Ang nationalism daw ay isa sa makapangyarihang tool o isa sa pinakamalakas na pwersa regarding in politics. According naman sa Orwell, nationalism is the habit of identifying oneself with a single nation and recognizing no other duty than that of advancing its interests and those of people who find themselves having a major communities on their own initiatives resulting to their identification of themselves to a single nation. Nationalism is a loyalty and devotion to a nation as a result of one's heroic deeds. So, ang nationalism ay isang kaisipan that emphasizes loyalty, devotion, or alliance to a nation or country and holds that such obligations. Example na lang dyan si Dr. Rizal, ang pambansang bayani ng Pilipinas. Kapag nababanggit ang Pilipinas, lumalabas agad or naiisip nila agad si Dr. Jose Rizal who devotes her loyalty in, in our country which is the Philippines. From Wikipedia naman, nationalism is an idea and movement that holds that the nation should be congruent with the state. As a movement, nationalism tends to promote the interests of particular nation as in a group of people, especially with the aim of gaining and maintaining the nation's sovereignty, self-governance over its homeland to create a nation-state. Sa Merriam-Webster naman, nationalism is a loyalty and devotion to a nation, especially a sense of national consciousness exalting one nation above all others and placing primary emphasis in promotion of its culture and interests as opposed to those of other nations or supernatural groups.
Number 2. Filipino concept of hero, bayanihan, and heroism. Heroism or kabayanihan is connected with various concepts. According to Francis Xiaoyu, heroism as a concept came from the Greek. For Aderoisian, heroes are the nationalistic person who died while defending Philippine sovereignty and who, at the present, serve as a role model among Filipinos. According to the Oxford Dictionary, he defines as a hero as a person typical a man who admire or courage outstanding achievements or noble qualities. For the Filipinos, it has more elements for government administrators who are concerned with economic development. Heroes are the synonymous to overseas contract workers who remit dollars to our country, thereby adding to our dollars reserves which are bluntly needed to keep us competitive in the global market.
For environmentalists, heroes are those who keep the environment clean and green, making sure that this could still be used and enjoyed by future generations. To keep ordinary Filipino, heroes are those who simply do right thing without ifs and buts. Those who good to help others without asking for anything in return. Sila yung mga taong nagpapanatili ng kapayapaan dito sa bansa. Yung pagpapanatili nila ng kalinisan at kayusan. Sila yung mga taong nagbibigay ng tulong kahit na walang hinihinging kapalit. Siyempre, lahat naman tayo pwedeng maging bayani. Kahit sa paggawa ng simpleng bagay man lang sa ating kapwa. Tulad ng pagtulong ng kahit kakaunting pangangailangan. Pagiging makatao o pagturing sa kapwa ng kapantayan o pagiging fair or yung genuine kindness na tatawag or yung pagtulong ng walang anumang kapalit. Basta ito'y bukal at galing sa puso. Bayani is richer than the word hero because it may rooted in bayan as place or in doing something great. Not for oneself, but for greater good, for community or nation. Kasi ang pagiging bayani is yung nakikilala ka ng buong bansa dahil sa iyong katapangan at paninindigan na ipaglaban ng tama. Kahit na ang kapalit pa nito ay yung sariling buhay pa, is magiging bayani ka hindi lang dahil sa pulis ka or kung anuman, kundi nakikilala ka sa iyong mabuting hangarin at higit sa lahat nakikilala ang iyong katapangan or pagsasakripisyo para sa bayan. From the UP Dictionary yung Filipino in 2000, bayani means a person of extraordinary courage and ability and a person considered to possess extraordinary talents or someone who did something noble or dakila. Gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina, ang pagiging bayani ay dapat meron kang lakas ng loob sa anumang pagsubok na dumating at may abilidad na kayang magligtas kahit na ikapahamak mo pa minsan. Katulad ng ating mga kasundaluhan at kapulisan. Handang ibuwis ang kanilang buhay para sa bayan. Doon pa lang, pwede na silang maging bayani kasi taglay na nila yung courage at katapangan, kaya nararapat lang na tawagin silang bayani ng ating bayan. Sila yung mga taong may angking katapangan, pamumuno. Sila rin yung mga taong may matataas na antas o maharlika, o kung tawagin lalo na sa kapanahonan ni Lapu-Lapu, ang ating unang bayani na hindi natin pwedeng kalimutan kung paano niya ipaglaban ng ating bayan noong tayo ay naisakupin ng mga dayuhan. Dahil sa kanyang katapangan, isa siya sa pinakaunang dakilang bayani na nakilala noon magpasa hanggang ngayon. According to Vito C. Santos in his Vicassans Dictionary in 1978, bayani could be a patriot or taong makabayan, endeavor. It is also means a person who volunteers or offers free service or cooperative. Ang bayani daw, sabi ni Mr. Vito Santos according sa kanyang Vicassans Dictionary is sila yung mga taong makabayan na may pagmamalasakit sa kapwa nang walang hinihinging kapalit na kung ano man, or yung pagtulong nila malihit man o malaki basta kusang loob na tumutulong sa kapwa, ganun. A leading man in play, often referred to as a bida from the Spanish word for life. Vida, who is contrasted with the villain or contrabida from the Spanish word contrabida, which means against life, were those who had qualified of the gods' extraordinary strength, bravery, and ability. From the words of Juan de Noceda and Pedro de Sanlúcar, who published the Vocabulario de la Lengua Tagala in 1754 and 1860. Edition that can be found in Manila covered with pigskin, which was eventually translated by Almario and Ilogpas from the original Spanish into Filipino bayani. Someone is brave or valiant, someone who works toward a common task or bayanihan. Number 1, it is not gender specific, is an unselfish act toward a cause, a person with extraordinary courage or bravery that ignores extreme danger and exhibit strength to overcome difficulties. Ang pagiging bayani ay wala naman sa kasarian, mapalalaki, babae, gay o kung ano man. Di ba lahat naman tayo pwedeng maging bayani, lalo na sa ating sariling pamamaraan. Sila yung mga taong mapagbigay ng walang hinihinging kapalit, lalo na sa mga nagawa nila at naitulong nila sa kanilang kapwa. Sila rin yung mga taong hindi natitinag sa anumang pagsubok sa buhay, sa larangan ng kanilang trabaho para sa mamamayan at bayan, kahit na sila ay nasa bingit pa ng kapamakan o nasa bingit na ng kamatayan. Filipinos believe that kabayanihan is an act that never concerns someone's own personal pleasure nor expects compensation for what he does. Rather, the actions are done out of kindness. Totoo naman, di ba? Para sa atin, ang pagtulong sa kapwa ay hindi natin ipinagmamayabang. Bagkus, tinutulungan natin ang ating kapwa upang makaraos kahit papaano man. Sa konti o laki ng tulong na ating ibinibigay, masaya na tayo at nakakagaan sa loob dahil natutulungan natin sila. Likas na kasi sa ating mga Pilipino ang pagiging matulungin sa kapwa, hindi ba? In other words, a bayani is one who humbly recognizes the interest of what is bigger than the individual, like a group community, nation, and humanity. Gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina sa una, ang pagiging bayani is yung nakikilala ng karamihan, tinutularan, at iniidolo ng mga kabataan. Kasi ang pagiging bayani ay hindi sa pilitan, hindi ba? Ang pagiging bayani ay kinikilala base sa iyong mga mabubuting gawa. Um, yung yung pinamalas na katapangan, pagsasakripisyo, tatag, at pagmamahal sa bayan na iyong ikararangal habang buhay.
Rizal as a hero. Rizal Kabayanihan was a controversial issue. Rizal opted for a non-violence reform in the government. He dedicated his life for the love of himself for the country without any hesitation. There are issues and arguments why Rizal considered as our national hero instead of Bonifacio. Many choose Rizal instead of Bonifacio because Rizal was lesser evil than Bonifacio and others. Rizal just fought the Spaniards by simply not by his word, but by his writings and novels. He used what he had, the intelligence, in order to free the Filipinos. Rizal was imprisoned December 30, 1896, due to the depiction by the novels expressing the oppression of the Filipino people and the tyranny and injustices of the friars. Rizal was executed for supposedly being the mastermind of the revolt. However, he was not a part of it, and only wanted to achieve revolution by peaceful. Many Filipinos believe that there are other national heroes like Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Apolinario Mabini, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, and all those who helped guide the Philippines to being a nation-state. Andres Bonifacio. Andres Bonifacio, the great plebeian, was born in Tondo, Manila on November 30, 1863. His own formal education was limited. He supplemented this by self-study. Andres Bonifacio was not born poor. Opportunately, hindi naging madali sa kanya yung buhay simula nung pumanaw yung kanyang mga magulang. Noong 14 years old pa lamang siya. Kaya natigil siya sa pag-aaral although he never finished high school. Si Andres Bonifacio was intelligent and smart man. His own library included books on the two novels of Dr. Jose P. Rizal, No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo, the lives of United States presidents, the history of the French Revolution, Victor Hugo's Les Miserables, Eugene Sue's Wandering Jew, and the penal and civil codes and various collections of La Solidaridad. Bonifacio had insight to organize revolutionary movement, for he knew that Spain would never budge an inch in granting reforms. It was Bonifacio who correctly pointed out the necessity of armed struggle to force the issue on another. Andres Bonifacio wrote Decalogue or Ten Commandments entitled Katungkulang Gagawin ng Mga Anak ng Bayan, in English, Duties to be observed by the sons of the country. To lay down the guidelines for good citizenship, the rules include love of God, love of country, and one means with the poor, punishment of scoundrels and traitors, and the guarding of the mandates and aims of the Katipunan movement. The Decalogue or Ten Commandments, ito ang mga utos dapat gawin at sundin ng mga Katipunan members Emilio Jacinto, while Andres Bonifacio was called Father of Revolution, Emilio Jacinto was called as the brain of the Katipunan, was born in Tondo, Manila on December 15, 1875. His parents were Mariano Jacinto, a bookkeeper, and Josefa Dizon, a midwife. The story of Emilio Jacinto, namatay rin agad yung kanyang ama nung bata pa lamang siya. Kaya his mother decided to send Emilio to his uncle so that he can have a better life. Emilio Jacinto studied law in University of Santo Tomas, and when the revolution broke out, he was one of those who were first initiated into the Katipunan. He was the youngest member of the Revolution Society at the age of 18. Si Emilio Jacinto ay napakabata niya nung sumali siya sa Katipunan. So, si Andres Bonifacio ay nakapagsulat ng Decalogue or Ten Commandments of Katipunan members. Si Amelia Jacinto naman ay nakapagsulat rin ng Kartilya ng Katipunan. Ang content naman nito is naglalaman ito ng mga bagay na dapat gawin at hindi dapat gawin ng mga katipunero members. Nandito nakapaloob ang rules, regulation, and obligation na dapat gawin ng isang katipunero and also ang katipunan. Meron silang newspaper rin, ang tawag sa newspaper nila ay Kalayaan. Kung ang La Solidaridad Organization ay may newspaper rin, ang katipunan meron ring Kalayaan. Apolinario Mabini was born of poor parents, Anacencio Mabini and Janicia Maranan in Barrio Talagatanan, Batangas in 1864. He finished his law degree at UST in 1894. The Sublime Paralytic joined Rizal civic organization, the La Liga Filipina, where he worked for reforms in the administration of government. In 1898, Aguinaldo recruited him as his private counselor for the revolutionary government. His detractors called him the Black Chamber of Aguinaldo, while his admirers called him the brain of the revolution. So, when Aguinaldo recognized his cabinet on January 2, 1899, he appointed Mabini as the president of the cabinet and secretary of foreign affairs. Among his best-known writings were the Truth Decalogue, the constitutional program of the Philippines Republic, and the Philippines Revolution. Marcelo H. Del Pilar was born in Cupang, Bulacan on August 30, 1850, to dedicated parents. He studied at the Colegio de San Jose in Manila and later at the University of Santo Tomas, where he completed his law course in 1880. Marcelo H. Del Pilar was a lawyer, writer, and known as the Great Propagandist. Ninth of 10 siblings, son of Julian Hilario Del Pilar and Blas Agatmaitan. Ang La Solidaridad ay isang pahayagang pampolitika na inilathala minsan tuwing ikalawang linggo at siya'y naging tinig ng kilusang propaganda. Si Marcelo H. Del Pilar ang pumalit kay Luciano Lopez Gina bilang patnugod ng La Solidaridad at pinangalanan sa dyaryo na Plaridel. Siya ay naglathala siya ng mga liberal at progresibong artikulo na nagbunyag sa kalagayan ng Pilipinas. Historian Esteban de Ocampo attributed the American hand in choosing Rizal over all other heroes to the statement made by Governor-General William Howard Taft at the early phase of the American rule. He allegedly said, "And now, gentlemen, you must have a national hero." The words were addressed to the Filipino members of the Philippines Commission, such as Trinidad Pardo de Tavera, Benito Legarda, and Jose Luzarriaga. In the deliberation of the merit of Marcelo H. Del Pilar, General Antonio Luna, Emilio Jacinto, Graciano Lopez Gina, Andres Bonifacio, and Jose Rizal,
in analyzing the act of
committee favored
defamation, it was the
Dr.
Filipino
Jose
themselves who
Rizal.
chose Rizal. By looking back at history, the Filipino role in the choice of Rizal is more extensive. During the time of the Filipino Revolutionary Government, General Emilio Aguinaldo issued a decree on December 20, 1898, declaring December 30 as a day of mourning for Jose Rizal and other victims of the Philippine Revolution. This decree became the basis of the present Rizal Day, which the Philippines commemorates the anniversary of Rizal execution. In the 8 Camarines Norte, Filipino Masons erected a simple monument dedicated to Rizal on December 30, 1898. This monument in the 8 antedates the better-known Rizal Monument, which was constructed at the Luneta in Manila in 1911. The monument in Luneta was constructed through public subscription, which was paid for not by the Americans, but by the Filipino people. Moreover, thousands of monuments and busts dedicated to Rizal were constructed all over the country and by Filipino communities around the world.
Also, there are street plazas roads named after Rizal. There are some places that named after Rizal. One of these is the Dimalasang Street, where one of the aliases of Rizal gave himself. Another one is the Sampaloc to East and Santa Cruz to the West. Given the name Rizal, formed part of development full title. It was natural for a street to have name associated with the national hero, as well as the Maria Clara. It was beautiful and fortunate heroine of Rizal's Noli Me Tangere,